Welcome everybody to Eye of the Serpent Tarot for another mini pick a card, answer your 3 top questions video. So some of you may be well familiar with this format now. I've done another couple before this, I think. And so you may well know that the basic idea here is each pile will have 3 questions and that you get to ask them. So you ask them in real time as I shuffle for each question. And they're primarily meant to be yes, no, or timing related questions, but we'll have a look at the answer and some other information to help as advice for each question. So what has been the case with all of them is that I've used different tarot decks for each pile to try and sort of help you decide which pile you're most drawn to. So I'll just put down the numbers for the piles. You can certainly go to more than one pile if you want to ask more than 3 questions. You could ask up to 9 if you wanted to go through all 3. So that's completely up to you. But to help, as I say, I have chosen different decks, and I'm kind of having a bit of fun with this now because the format's fairly sort of similar. You're going to sort of find if you go to other ones of these, we have a very similar sort of format to it, but I can have a bit of fun in kind of working out what sets of tarot decks, and now I'm kind of almost going for theme or a feel. So what I went for here was a sort of a sense of a little bit of playfulness, a little bit of adventure. I chose the Fool card from each deck to help with that, but also just in the sort of like the art in this. It's a bit quirky, it's a bit sort of full of childlike wonder. It's not childish, but that kind of energy. So if you've got very heavy questions, hopefully this brings a light touch to it. If you have very light questions, maybe it balances it off with a bit of gravitas. We'll see what Spirit wants to do. But that was kind of the idea. If these sort of prove to be successful, people really like them, I'll do them semi-regularly and I'll create a playlist. And so over time you may sort of see one, get drawn to it, and then want to go and ask some other questions, or you may even want to go to the playlist and look at the thumbnails and work out what reading draws you. So we'll just see if you like it or not. So do give me some idea in the comments if you have time whether this is a format that works for you, because I'm just sort of seeing it, testing it out a bit for the moment. So for pile number 1, we have the Fool card from the Pythia Tarot. For pile number 2, we have the Fool card from the Art of Adventure Tarot. And for pile number 3, we have the Fool card from the Cute and Creepy Tarot. So as I say, one of those images or the feel of the deck, or if you're familiar with the deck, might help you choose. But otherwise, choose however you want. Pause the video by all means to contemplate if necessary. But when you know which reading or readings you want to go to, the timestamps are in the description box below, and I'll see you there. Welcome pile 1 to your reading. So we start with the blank slate because we're going to literally do each question in real time rather than anything prepared. Those who've been to these before will know exactly what to do, but for anybody who hasn't, what I'll ask you to do, and I'll ask you to do this 3 times, so the 3 questions, is to concentrate on the question as I'm now shuffling. Now, if you aren't sure what your question is, pause the video, get clear, then turn the video back on so that then you can align now with me shuffling, because what I'm asking for the first question for pile number 1 is what is the answer to their question or to your question. No. The answer is no. We have the Hermit card. So, and what I should say as an introduction to all of this is if you get an answer you don't want, part of the point about tarot or anything is to understand the prevailing energies and why it's the answer you don't want. It gives you the opportunity to potentially do things to shift it to the answer that you want. But what this would certainly say is that this is not a time to go forward with something if you're asking about that. If you're asking about, it could be no is a welcome answer too. It is telling you that to prepare either way, if you want to shift this to a yes or if no is what you want, the going within is very important with the Hermit card. A bit of solitude, a bit of time out, and your decision, I would say, rather than crowdsourcing a decision. This is likely to have something to do with your material life. So if it's about a relationship, it's about how committed it will become. It could be around career, friendships as to whether or not they're loyal, that kind of thing. Virgo season may be an important time as well too, if you're asking more about time than anything. It might be no until Virgo season, potentially, if there's a delay. And this also depends on when you see this. Virgo season is around about September, so that kind of period in the year is going to be important. Let's get you a wild card. So what we do is we have a wild card, we have an astrology card, and then we use the tarot deck to get a piece of advice. So a wild card around this answer no, the timing of Virgo season and the energy of sort of internal contemplation of the hermit and seeking of wisdom and the light on the road ahead of the hermit. The wild card is summer. Okay, so for some of you, Virgo season could be bringing in a period. It would be, depending upon where you are, it's probably either maybe spring into summer, or you will have just passed summer, and like, it kind of depends where you are in the world for Virgo season. This talks about a period of maturing powers, fruitful and warmth. So I would say if you were asking about something that you wanted to sort of bring into being, you wanted to mature, a harvest you wanted, if the answer was no, it may be that Virgo season rather than summer itself is when you could move forward as a way of reading this. Otherwise, whatever you're asking about, there is still a harvest. There is still something very good to come out of this, even if no was not the answer you wanted. And no may have been the answer that you wanted in any case. Let's get some astrology support around this question as well, pole 1. Cardinal, you're meant to initiate something. So again, if this was asking about doing something, go within to really be sure what you want to do, because you're meant to initiate something that will come to a harvest, and maybe Virgo season is a good time to do it, but not before then. If it's about a relationship, it may be, if you're wondering, will somebody ask you out? The answer may be no, but you can have what you want if you take the initiative. So it sort of depends on how those things work, because there's a very positive feeling with this and a feeling of you moving forward, but it just depends on what you were asking in relation to no. Let's also get a card from the Pythia Tarot. So I shuffled the Fool card back in case it turns out to be the piece of advice, but we're just looking for one card for a piece of advice from Spirit around this particular question. Oh my goodness, and you get the Oracle. Now, the good thing is there's 2 versions of the Oracle in this deck. It's an additional couple of major arcana, and they are about divination. They are about having a sense of the future. There is one where she looks really frustrated. You've got the one where she looks happy. So again, there's a happy energy to this. Even if no was not the answer you wanted, it may be just no, not until, if that's the case. There's something you can initiate, and you have a sense of it in the future. You have a sense of it coming in. Trust your intuition. And it makes sense. You know, we have the Hermit, which is one of the most spiritual cards, going within your own inner knowing. And then we have the Oracle. Don't doubt that you have a very good sense of what this is doing and how this can come to fruition and how it needs to begin in whatever the question was. Okay. So, pole number 1, now we're going to go to question 2. So again, I'm shuffling for question number 2. Pause if you need to clarify and have very clear in your mind what the question is. But now we are asking Spirit for pole number 1, what is the answer to their second question? This answer is yes, and this is the Wheel of Fortune. This is all about destiny. Timing is unavailable, but luck is on your side. So timing is not going to be clear. So if you were asking about timing more than an answer, it's a positive outcome for you. You know, it has a positive emotional connection for you. The wheel is turning in your direction. You are lucky, so don't worry too much about the timing if that was what was going on. And if you were literally asking about a yes, no, it is yes. Now, again, if you had wanted a no, there is time, it would say, to shift that. So this is how to sort of interpret those 2 sort of things together, depending upon whether you were looking for a yes or a no. But there's something in destiny here. There's something that is meant to come through. Let's see what your wild card is for this question. Water again. Okay. Subconscious, purification, flow. Being in the flow. Something is meant to come in for you, I would say. I think for most of you, you probably wanted a yes. If not, as I say, you can shift it. You can make the flow move in a different way because luck is on your side. But something, this feels like, I feel like I hear your ship is coming in. I feel like something is going, and it could be connected to this as well too, because there's harvest. They may be very different questions, but for some of you, they might be connected. So if this is like, well, I really want to do this and I'm a bit frustrated, it's no, it will move to yes. It's a timing issue if that's the case. Okay, let's see the astrology energy around this question for you. Fire. Okay, water and fire. Water and fire together make steam. So this is sort of like something rising to the air that's warm. I don't know, I just felt to say that. That may have some resonance for people. Could be a fire sign, certainly. picking like the cardinal there, it's Aries that is the fire sign that is cardinal. So possibly it's tilting to people who are Aries, or Aries is important in some way. Beginning things could be important in some way. But this is probably a connection of something that is very emotionally important to you and something that's very creatively important to you, and it's drive and ambition and so forth. So let's get the tarot advice around it. And we have the Four of Swords reversed. One of the things I got as I was shuffling was, if anybody's doing something creative, your time is coming. It's time to actually start bringing it out. You may not know exactly when it's going to take, but it's got a lot of potential. And this card with the Four of Swords, this is like, don't hide things away. It is time to bring something out. Luck is on your side. So if you have like a novel that you wrote and it's sitting in the drawer in your office and you haven't ever sent it out, maybe it's time to send it out. It doesn't have to be about that, but that's just an example of the energy. Okay, pile number one. Now we'll move to the third question. So if you think about your third question, pause again if you need to, but we're shuffling now and asking for the answer for pile number one's third question. And the answer is maybe. So you've got a no, a yes, and a maybe. This is the Queen of Swords. This is saying you need to clarify and seek within. It's interesting. It may again connect back. There is some sort of connection, I think, in this. You're very much a kind of internal, spiritual, seeing the future type of person. But you're also quite precise about it. But this could go either way. You need to work out what you really want and seek within for the answer. That, like the tarot, I think all of this is going to be a little bit obscure, I would say, so that you seek within. But let's see what the wild card is. Luck. Good luck is coming your way. And that said that as well too. I actually think for most people who've come to pile one, Spirit is trying to say, relax. Everything's in divine timing. Things are coming. You'll be able to express yourself when it's the right time. Just go within and work out what you want, because you're coming into a very lucky period. Let's see the astrology. Venus, yeah, it could be bringing in love. It could be bringing in beauty. Anything that is sort of like beautiful and sort of creative for you could come in. Certainly if you have felt that you've been alone for quite a while and you're wondering, if anybody is asking, is this new person you've met the one? It could be maybe. Look within. Luck is on your side. Love is definitely coming if that's the case. You've got to work out if it's the one you're thinking about. Okay, and then let's see the advice from the Pythia Tarot. The Nine of Wands. Okay, so this says keep on keeping on. So maybe it may take you a little bit of time and you really have to work out what you actually want, but you have everything you need. All the firepower that you need is there. The Nine of Wands often comes when we sort of feel like we're near the end of a marathon, and can we get that to the end, and we get our second wind at that point. So if you are thinking, like, can I bring love in, like, yes, you can. Don't feel that you've run your race. You can. Luck is on your side, but you've got to go within and work out what you want. That's the main thing, so that you bring about the thing that you would truly love and find beautiful. So I think there's a lot of positivity for you, pile one, whether these are all connected or whether they're different questions. I hope that this brought some clarity and was a bit of fun. If so, please like the video and subscribe. And as I say, if you have any feedback on this, whether this works for you, whether you like it, I'd be really interested in that, because I'm going to try and get a sense about whether it's hitting the mark or not over time. I enjoy doing them. I find them a really interesting way of using the cards, but I also want to make sure that I'm bringing you guys what you want. So feel free to sort of weigh in on that in the comments if you want. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, pile two, to your reading. So if you're familiar with the format, you'll know we're starting with an open vista here, because we're literally going to shuffle and lay out each in turn. There's no sort of pre-shuffled cards. So I'm literally shuffling right now to get the card to answer the question, your first question. So if you know clearly what that is, focus on it. And if you don't, if you're not clear and sure, then pause the video until you're clear and then unpause again, because now we are asking Spirit for the answer to pile two's first question. Answer is maybe. And it's saying be patient. This card is the Knight of Pentacles. That's why it's talking about patience. It could well be that many of you, this is around either work or something that you're thinking about whether you want to commit to it, whether it's sort of something that would be a grail quest for you or a committed relationship. What this is saying is that there is definitely an option for this to ground and be what you want, but you have to be patient to see. And there's something strategic about this. There's almost more information to find out. If it is, will I get that next job, then you need to be patient to find out, and you need to be strategic about how you go about it. If it's about a relationship, it may be you don't have all the answers yet. You just need to sort of like be a little bit neutral until you can work out if it's something that you want to ground and make more of. Let's see what your wild card is, seeing it's being a little bit equivocal about whether this is going to happen or not. Arrow. You need to pull back to move forward even further. Yeah, this is the thing. Is this what you want to focus on? That's the strategic side of this. I think it's almost saying whatever it is, whether it's a love thing, whether it's a career, whether it's creative, whether it's, it could be anything. The way that you will know whether it's the next strategic step is to get a longer range view and decide, is it something you really want to focus on? So I think this is saying that a lot of this is in your hands. It's not so much being determined by outside forces, even if it appears to be. The issue is this the right focus for you? Let's see what astrology says. The 12th house, yeah, go within. Go within to your inner knowing. Go within to your psychic sense. Things are not clear, the planet Neptune at the moment, but that they will become clearer. I feel I'm almost getting a vision of a mirror that has sort of mist on it, and the mist is going to clear and the focus is going to become clearer. You just need to be patient and go within. Okay, let's get the Art of Adventure Tarot. We've reshuffled in the Fool card in case that is the advice for any of the questions. So just a card from the Art of Adventure Tarot as another piece of advice around this first question. And we've got the Eight of Swords reversed. Okay, whatever this is, when you are determining, and because you are going to be able to determine this more than you possibly think, I think whatever this question is, you feel that it is kind of connected to other people and their decisions, but it's much more about whether you want to focus on this. You need to go within to make sure it feels right to you, and you need to make sure that you are liberating yourself from any kind of restrictive beliefs. So if this was, am I going to get promoted in the next year? I think this would be saying maybe you're going to need to be patient, but you've got to go within and remove all the beliefs about yourself, self-limiting beliefs, and focus. So it just depends on what the question is, but I think this particular thing is very much in your hands, and it's a strategy of focus and releasing yourself from self-imposed limitations. Okay, let's have a look at question 2. So again, pause the video if you need to. Otherwise, please think about your question 2 now as we ask Spirit for the answer to pile 2's second question. And we get a yes. And very quick time period if you're asking about timing. This is the King of Wands. So it's about vision, it's about creativity, it's about charisma, it's about, passion, any of those things. If this is about, am I going to meet the love of my life, then yes, in a matter of days. Is this about, will someone ask you out? Probably yes, in a matter of days. If this is about, will I get a creative break? Yes, in a matter of days. Something is going to really shift in a matter of days. Now, if you did not want the answer yes, then there's a short time period where you might be able to change the answer. But given it's a very short time period, it may be going to have to accept yes is it. But, it just depends. We'll see what advice we get from the other cards. So let's look at the wild card, because this one feels very imminent. Work, something that takes effort or employment. So many of you, this could be about work. If it's not, it could be a relationship too. It could be, yes, this could be the one, but it's going to take some work. And in a matter of days, you're going to get the clarity on what you need to do with this. So whatever this is going to take a bit of effort. Even though it may happen quite quickly, it's going to take effort to really bring it into being. Let's get the astrology advice around it. Fixed. You need to be quite determined, I think. I also feel this is saying for some of you, whether it's about work, whatever it's about, there's a decision, there's a thing happening in a few days' time that will kind of fix your commitment and what you focus on for a period of time at least. Like I feel like there's a decision or something that you will stick to. There's something about it that you will stick to it and you'll put the work into it. So let's see the advice from the Art of Adventure Tarot. The Six of Wands. I think it's just saying you will succeed. You're going to have success. You're going to be recognized. Something's coming. Something's coming that, like it could be a, career boost. It could be a relationship that you put the work into and you stick with and it really turns out very happy. There's something. And you've had the vision and you're ready. And with the King of Wands, you've done the work that you're ready and you're going to be seen for it. So I think it's just really, just once you've made this decision or once this thing has occurred, just stick it out and you're going to succeed. Okay, so now we're going to move to the third question. So if you can pause if you need to, otherwise focus on your third question. So Spirit, what is the answer to pile 2's third question, please? Yes. Stop wasting time. So this is the King and the Queen of Wands. If these two questions are related and they're about a relationship, that's a double blessing because that's the King and Queen, and it's not about gender, but it's the two adults in the sort of like the court cards of the same suit. So it certainly would be saying yes. And so if you were asking, should you ask someone out or should you say yes to going out, it's almost like a double, I feel like it's almost a double yes unless this is a very different question. But whatever this is, yes. And this is kind of get on with it. Queen of Wands knows who she is, self-actualized, is determined. Your determination is going to take you far with this. And again, if you had wanted a no, then it might be, you could turn this around because you have the strength, but just don't procrastinate. Let's have a look at the wild card for you. Balance. Harmonize opposing forces, equilibrium. So there may be something in this to be determined and to get on with it, to bring something into balance, whatever you're asking about. And you do have the capacity to do it. But I think it takes some conscious effort and not to procrastinate. The astrology around it is water. There's probably something that is emotional around this, something about people's emotions and feelings or whatever. So maybe bear that in mind. You might have to balance your own determination, the power of your charisma and all those sort of things with sort of emotional people around you potentially in relation to this. Let's get the Art of Adventure piece of advice. We have the 8 of Cups. There may be, okay, so I'm getting for some of you, this could be, if you were asking, is it time for me to move on from a relationship? So I'm just going to read it like that and then I'm going to read it otherwise. It doesn't have to be that. Answer is yes. Don't waste time. You've got to bring into balance by letting go of emotional patterns that aren't working anymore, or letting go of people who have emotional patterns that are not working for you. So it's just one example. If it's, can I sort of like move forward with my creative project? Yes, you can bring it into balance, but you need to work out what is emotionally resonant still and what you need to kind of let go of. That will bring it into balance. So there's something about letting go of emotional things that are going to help you bring this into balance and really bring about the best outcome. So pile 2, I hope that resonated for your questions. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Certainly would love to hear if this format is working for you. Because I will probably do it semi-regularly unless I sort of find people aren't that interested in it, but I'm having fun doing it. I hope you're having fun getting the readings, and feel free to let me know in the comments one way or the other. Till then, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome pile 3 to your reading. So if you're familiar with this, you'll know where we're starting with an empty vista. It's because we're literally going to be shuffling and answering these questions in real time. So what I will ask you to do for your first question is focus on it. If you're not sure what you want to ask, please pause the video, work it out clearly in your mind, then press play again, because right now we're asking Spirit for the answer to pile 3's first question. The answer is yes. And we have the Knight of Wands. Time is moving quickly. There's a lot of energy associated with, a lot of passion. Now, the Knight of Wands can classically be a moving home card. So if you're asking, should you move home, or are you going to sort of like find a different location, or even move jobs or move in some way, then the answer is yes. If it's, should I follow this passion, be it a person or a creative project or a job, the answer is yes. But time is moving quickly. Time is of the essence. So don't waste time around this. If you had wanted to know, then what you need to understand is that part of the purpose of these questions is to let you know if things are tilting towards the yes, and you wanted to know, time is moving quickly. So if you wanted to try and course correct, you'd need to move pretty quickly as well. Let's get you a wild card around this question. Communication, better communication needed to help situation. So even if yes was the answer that you wanted, because everything's moving so quickly, make sure you don't skimp on communication. Other people are obviously involved in this in some way. Don't let time get the better of you and expect people to just understand. Communication is really important for this to be successful and happy for you. Let's get an astrology card around the first question. South Node. Okay. So this is moving quickly away from something to move towards something else. South Node is karmic stuff that you are letting go of. So there is some sort of pattern of letting go here. So it is probably to bring in something else. This is a sense of movement of the Knight of Wands, that you're letting go of something to bring something else in, or it's just, it is time to move on from somewhere. And that is saying, yes, you've done your time with this. But it may be, say this was, is it time for me to look for another job? Yes, time will move quickly. You'll probably find it quickly. Make sure you don't burn bridges and upset people. Have good communication. But yes, it's time to move on. Okay, let's get you a piece of advice from the Cute and Creepy Tarot. So we're using the Cute and Creepy Oracle. So let's get some advice from the Cute and Creepy Tarot for you also on this question. Eight of Swords reverse. Yeah, it's time to release yourself from something. So it's either the process of saying yes to something and moving towards it releases you from sort of almost self-imposed prisons, or it is time, yes, there is something that you are meant to move away from and release yourself from. Good communication can make this go more smoothly. Okay. So let's go to question 2. So pile 3, please concentrate on question 2. Pause the video if you need to. Press play again when you're ready. So we are asking Spirit for the second question, the answer to the second question for pile 3. And it is no. But time to charge forward. This interests me because this is the Knight of Swords and you've got the Knight of Wands. If these questions are related, then there might be a sort of like, there could be, I mean, when I look at those, I could almost feel like you're asking, should I move on from this? Yes. Can I still keep certain connections? No, you need to charge forward. That if they're connected. If they're not, the interesting thing about it is these two questions both have time and movement associated with them. And again, if you had wanted a yes, if you want to turn that to a yes, you've got to move forward. You've got to charge forward. But I feel like if you wanted a yes, it may be saying yes isn't what you should be wanting at the moment. You just need to move on. So but both of those, they're the two fastest moving nights. So there's a sense of a lot of speed around everything. Like there's not a lot of time to make decisions around this. Let's get you a wild card. Key. You are the key to your future, to your happiness. Unlock your mind and unlock your heart. Yeah, I feel like this is saying action. Like if no here represented, no, don't keep thinking about things. Don't keep, just go on with it. Just get on with it. It says you have the key to this. It feels to me almost like you're asking about, getting other information or other people's opinions or something like that. And it's saying no because you have the key. You know what you need to do in this situation. Let's see what astrology is around it. Chiron, there's something to do with healing. So this may be something that you need to heal in yourself, and you may need to heal it by just taking action, moving forward, understanding it's within you, the healing. Like if this is like, should I stay in a relationship? No, move forward because you can heal better understanding what you have. Should I stay in this workplace? No, move forward because there's some healing you can do when you take your future into your hands. But there's something about healing with this. So let's get you some advice from the Cute and Creepy Tarot. King of Pentacles. You need to forge something that is yours, I feel, about this. So if this was like a career thing you were asking about, it says no, then there's something else that you can build that is bigger and better. But there's sort of like understanding that it's more something that you need to create and make for yourself. You're meant to move to your own material sovereignty. If it's about a relationship, then you are going to find one that is long-term for you, but not until you heal this by moving forward and not holding on to the past. Okay, so then let's ask the third question. So again, pause if you need to. So we're asking Spirit, what is the answer to Pile 3's third question? The answer is yes, and we have the Page of Swords, curiosity, communication. Winter season could be important to this in some way. So if you are sort of building something, communicating or something, it may come to fruition in winter season. If you're asking specifically about timing, winter season is important. If you wanted a yes, then that's great. Your communication and curiosity is really going to take you places, and you'll really see some outcome by next winter at the latest. But if you wanted a no, you may have up to winter season to shift that energy. Okay, let's have a look at a wild card for you. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, depending upon when you're seeing this and what part of the hemisphere you're in, maybe winter is a fair way away. Or maybe it's just about to happen. I almost feel if it's just about to happen, it might be saying not this winter season, but the next, because I feel like this is saying slow down a bit. The answer is yes, but it's kind of like you're meant to explore and communicate a bit more and just be a little bit calmer about it. You've got so much going on in these two questions. It's kind of like this one, you've got a little bit of time to be a bit more zen about it, to be a bit more curious. You don't have to make all your mind up about it right now. Okay, let's get an astrology card for you. The moon. Yeah, there's something sort of emotional. There's something a bit hidden about it still. There's something about this question where being curious, communicating, taking your time, going within as well. It's all going to help. Like I feel like there is something hidden. Like the other thing about winter season to me, if it's not literally talking about the timing, is I always think of winter as like we plant seeds and in the winter they're under the ground. But then when spring and summer comes, they come up and they bloom and we see what there are. So there is something here that is a little bit hidden to you, but you can understand a lot of it from going within. But don't vex yourself around timing. Just be curious about whatever this is. And the advice card from the tarot is the Emperor reversed. Okay. You might be finding there might be something about this situation where you feel like everything else is rushing, and this might be connected in some way, and you feel like there's pressure on you from powers that be. But this is saying, no, actually, just be curious about it. And if you feel there's sort of someone who's being too dominating, it may be that as you take a bit of time and you're curious, you may find there's a way that you can work this through and not be dominated and so forth. So I think there's an energy to clear that for you, because I do think you're meant to come into kind of some sort of power for yourself. So Pile 3, I think there's a lot of things that are going quickly, but there's at least one thing where you've got a little bit of time to kind of really explore it before you make a decision so that you're not too influenced by external factors. So I hope that that resonates for you. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Certainly, I would love to hear if this is working for you as a format, if you haven't already sort of commented on that in prior videos. I'm going to do a few of them, and then I'm just going to sort of see and decide whether it becomes semi-regular after that. But I enjoy doing them, so I hope you enjoy them. And with that, I hope to see you in future readings.